Yeah, I'd like to show you some stuff. Do you have any stuff that you've bought in the last few weeks?
No, I do have some stuff, but it's going to be for a shorp, so I don't want to spoil it.
Do you remember this device, the Problematic? So this is a great device. I stand by it. There's a guy, his name escapes me, but there's a developer. He's pretty active on X, and he has made colorized versions of like Ninja Gaiden.
Everyone always said Ninja Gaiden, but I know for a fact it's Gaiden.
And what else? Is he responsible for the Kirby's Dream Land 2 one that looks incredible? It's been a few Tiny Toon Adventures. He did a colorized version of that. These like color ROM hacks for old Game Boy games. They really NES up a Game Boy game.
Yeah, they breathe some new life into it.
The Kirby's Dream Land 2 one is sick. I think it looks better than. I mean, you played a little bit of it. I think it looks better than the NES one.
Yeah, I mean, especially on that Problematic, it looks like so crisp and so clean.
So nice. So I was sent a video game in the mail, a homemade video game by, of course, Dillon, longtime friend and fan. I appeared on his show where we talked about Mortal Kombat some years back. He says, Frankie, please accept this copy of You, the letter U, are four guys. You are four guys. A Game Boy Color game I made where you play as four guys at the same time. It's my effort to combat the male loneliness epidemic. Thank you for the kindness, the wisdom, the laughter, the friendship, and above all else, the content. Your fan, Dillon. It's very nice. Yeah, he had been posting in Discord like, hey guys, I made a game. And then like you could play it online a little bit. And then he was like, Frankie, like which handhelds would you want to play it on? And I was like, the Odin 2 is Android, so if you could get me like an SPK of it or something. He was like, oh, I bet I could. Ended up cooking up a version for the Odin 2, which actually played really nicely. And then he was like, oh, I think a Game Boy Color version is in reach. And so he sent me a Game Boy Color cartridge of his cool game. You Are Four Guys.
How do you do that?
I don't know, man. I feel like you would know. And so, sure enough, there's our game, You Are Four Guys, and it's an arcade, there's by Wolfman Digital, and it's the kind of game, look at that nice Game Boy Color look. Look at that.
Oh, that screen is so, nice.
Yeah, well, they supply weaponry. So he knows what he's doing. So the idea, it's a little just, kind of like in the style of Robotron or, a lot of, classic arcade games where, in this case, one by one, very quickly, they provide you four different colors that are also, I think it's like a red square, a green triangle, a yellow circle, something like this. And different key combinations control the different guys, the four guys. And so on an Android or, on a Switch or something, the twin sticks would control two of them, and the face buttons would control a different one, and the D-pad would control a fourth one. Yeah. So very challenging for the Game Boy Color. So he had to do button combinations and make the game a little bit easier. So you hold the A button and now you use the D-pad. You hold the B button and use the D-pad.
I remember when the Game Boy Advance came out, it really felt limiting because they only put two, like an A and a B, and it felt really limiting, even if you with the shoulder buttons. It felt like it just, you needed two more buttons on there. But yeah, you always had to get creative, especially on the original Game Boy too.
Yeah, why would they do that? When the whole idea of GBA was like, it's SNES on the go.
I don't know. Nintendo's always like, because they always do cost-cutting things too. It's like, we would save 3 cents if we do it this way.
Waiting for Nintendo recently did a segment called Is the Switch 2 the best deal in video games? And then they started, musing about other good deals in video games, up to and including piracy. It's like, that's a damn good deal.
It's great. Stealing is free.
I hate to keep rubbing it in, but when they release this $500 Switch 2 with a game, before long you're gonna realize that that's cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was that recent news with PlayStation. They're gonna get rid of discs.
Yeah, actually, that was a segment. That's a segment. So we'll save that. I mean, the problem is your dollar spends less, and so things go up. But Nintendo is always. I was wondering. I was like, did Nintendo get out in front of the price increases? Were they like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna be the first ones to have the price increase. We're gonna take a little hit right now, and then these other fuckers are gonna come out with $1,100 systems, $1,200 systems.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo also were smart, and they stocked up. I think they could have technically released the Switch 2 a year earlier, but they just built up supply, and then which I think helped them in the long run. One, it helped that they were on the shelves for a long time, and two, yeah, I think they were able to just settle in on the price. Obviously, they've raised it recently, or they're going to raise it recently. I think in September it's gonna go up $50, but it'll probably still be like $500, and they'll probably pack in a game still, I'm sure.
Well, consider the fact that the Switch 2 will play a lot of AAA new games that are on other systems, not exclusives, but it'll play a lot of them, and it's handheld.
Yeah, I there was a summer sale on the eShop, and they had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I have on the PlayStation 5. It came out a couple years ago, and it's actually a pretty new game on the Switch too. So when I saw it on sale, I was like, it was like $20 off or something. I was like, that's a good deal. I already have it, but I playing something handheld, you're just more likely to play it. Just just period. So I was like, oh, maybe if that game is handheld, I'll get it. So I bought it on the Switch too, and it's just like, yeah, it's a modern AAA game that just is playing in a handheld, and you're just like, they had to like knock down the graphics a little bit, but who cares?
But that's a bargain decision, if you're into gaming.
But when you dock it, it actually like upscales the graphics, so like you can play docked, and it looks basically, maybe a little bit worse than PlayStation 5, but it's basically there. And then or you play in handheld, and it has some compromises, but it's perfectly playable. It's the game, it's the experience that you would have on a AAA.
And I understand that their stock is down, but you also have to consider that like they were also sky high for a lot. I mean, like all things are relative, and there's this slump of inflation, chip prices. I mean, just like it's a lot of headwinds. The point is, it's a lot. But like if you think like Nintendo's done, like I think you got another thing coming. Like people come out to these Mario movies in droves. Those Nintendo first party exclusives, they sell like fucking hotcakes. And in fact, the reason I would say that the Switch 2 has not sold very well is because there have not been good Nintendo exclusives for it yet. When there are, it'll probably and then the other systems are exorbitant. And I say this facetiously, but I always say like the Nintendo Switch 2 is a really good Switch 1 in as much as your whole library is there. You don't have to rebuy it.
Yeah, and then Ocarina of Time is going to come out, and then the Zelda movie is going to come out, and that's probably going to shoot up every Zelda game that's on there is going to sell. It's like when the Mario movie came out, even this year and a few years before. But when both those movies came out, every single Mario game got a bump in sales. And then the new Pokemon will come out in a year or so or whatever. And once Pokemon comes out, I think you're going to have a hard time finding a Switch too. It's just they're just going to start selling out.
I know what's really going on here, which is that people want the prices to go down. And so they're like, please don't defend the company when the prices are going up. But it's like, but you cannot look at the world in a vacuum. All things are relative. So if the other systems are exorbitant, and they are going to be, and you knew they were going to be, it was obvious they were going to be because of fucking what is happening with RAM and what's happening with markets. And we've got like major like income disparity right now. Like we're in like an economic problem right now. And like gaming is not going to, you see what's going on with Microsoft? Like it's fucked up over there.
And that is to say, I don't think the Switch 2 is going to do as well as the Switch 1 because of those factors. I think it's going to like price some people out, and just because the Switch 1 just came out at the right time where if the prices were low, everyone had some disposable income. And maybe in a long enough timetable, the Switch 2 would do better, but it's still, I think it's going to sell really well. It's going to sell better than a PlayStation 6 would, or if Xbox is even going to release a new system, it's going to sell better than that.
They've always had a smart move. All right, so let me get through my pickups here. So you remember Joe from Hats Off Entertainment? You remember he sent me a 4K copy of Uncle Buck on Blu-ray because he was on the commentary track?
Yeah. And
that's an awesome release of Uncle Buck, by the way. We ended up watching that, and it was excellent. His commentary was really excellent, too. It was like, in the same way that his YouTube channel is awesome. Like, the commentary is worth your time. So he and I have been chatting offline. I'm not sure what I mean by offline. Obviously, he was not here. but we were on the internet.
You weren't, like, pulling up the phone and while we're talking.
But we've been chatting, and because we'd like to get him back on the show. He wants to come back on the show. He floated the idea of like maybe we could talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993, like a deep dive on that, like in the vein that we did American movie with Freddy. We could do Mario with Joe. And I was thinking, I was like, well, if we did that on eBay, I keep seeing these foreign releases of laser discs, like Japanese, French, of course, the American one. And they're all like $60, $70. It's a lot of money for a laser disc, but it's not the $200 laser discs or the $250. So it's like, should I start a collection of international laser disc releases of the Super Mario 1993 movie? The covers are awesome. You've seen them, right? The covers are amazing.
I've seen them. Yeah, the Japanese one's like a little odd. It's a little like Mr. Sparkle.
Well, I feel like they were trying to sell the game a little. Like they were trying to use iconography from the game a little bit, and that interests me because obviously the movie itself didn't bother doing anything related to the game.
So it's always interesting how different Japan markets things to us. Like it's like whenever they sell Kirby in the United States, they always make them angry. They put angry eyes on them.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So he got to be on another commentary track, and this time it was for. Do you remember this movie from your childhood, Harry and the Hendersons?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I remember it.
Primate with John Lithgow.
Was there like a TV show like based on that too?
Was there?
Or there was something similar?
I think you're right. Yeah. There were like 3 seasons in the early '90s, but John Lithgow was not the guy.
No, it was one of those deals where took the concept, brought it to TV.
There's a pilot for Clerks, the live action TV show. Have you ever seen? Yeah, it's incredible.
I haven't seen it, but I know of its existence. Yeah.
And Jeff Anderson auditioned for the role of Jay. We're recording this on July 23rd. I learned that yesterday, July 22nd, was the 20th anniversary of Clerks 2.
Again, that feels like a new movie, too.
Isn't that great? 20 fucking years. Half my life. It was half my life ago. And I was just, when I heard about that, I was like, because I think there are parts of Clerks 2 that don't really hold up. Like almost everything with the lady there, I think is a little like cringe. But the ending, they buy the Quick Stop, they truck out, they see the milk lady one more time, Kevin Smith's mom. They're playing Misery, and we bought the Quick Stop. That's the perfect ending to the Clerk story because the store matters. And then I was just thinking about like, why would you, after that, why would you be like, and then they all have heart attacks and die and become filmmakers? Like, what? No. To say nothing of the original script for Clerks 3, where there's like a school shooter and like all kinds of insanity.
Fuck is wrong with that guy?
I don't know. He also sent me, I'm not quite sure what this is, but it's like a little like collector's card of the Rocketeer.
Oh, okay.
Joe just sends you cool stuff. It wouldn't be the first time that I've shown like a pickup thing or a show and tell on the show, and I didn't fully understand the thing I was sent, and then like the person has to reach out after me. Like the point is the Rocketeer. I'm like, oh. Or the Help Me M&Ms from Frankie is a Furby. I didn't know at first. I didn't see it first. I just thought he sent M&Ms.
Delicious M&Ms.
And finally, this was sent from a fan named Spicy Mike. And Spicy Mike sent me a message, and he said, hey, I emailed you and you didn't get back to me, which is a little unusual of me. So I think it must have gone to spam, because that can happen.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Especially for some reason with Red Cow stuff, it goes to spam quite frequently. Yeah,
maybe it's because it's like... it goes to a group email and it came from, I don't know, who knows. It's, a lot of times people you've never corresponded with before previously. But he goes, do you have any truck with a signed cast photo of Suburban Knights? And I was like, yes, please. Yes, I would like to put that up in my den.
Of course.
And I said, what's the story? Why do you have that? And he goes, my girlfriend and I used to watch a lot of Channel Awesome together, and she thought that it would be a nice gift for me, but I actually don't really care about signed photos of people. So I wanted to send it to somebody who would care. So, we're about to, or by the time this airs, people have seen the Linkara review. But so kind of in honor of that, here's a fuzzy, out of focus photo.
Very on brand.
Yes, this is not the nicest fidelity. And there they all are.
I would almost hope it wouldn't be.
I see the Doug Walker one. The Doug Walker one looks like an illustration of like a guy's face a little bit. Very, famous guy. The Lindsay one is crazy. It's just like loops all over her like white dress. Out of the 4 movies we've watched, I think Suburban Knights is my favorite. So
yeah, I think so. Probably by far.
All right, that's my pickups.
Somebody pick up.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.